What's going on, guys? This is Remy with Level 1 News, and I'm here to give you our review and our take on one of the audio formats of the future, and technically the past, being one of the first, if not the first, and that's Auro 3D. So Auro 3D, which some probably never have heard of, but they have heard of Dolby Atmos and DTS-X, being the full immersive sound systems that are the primaries out there. But what people don't know is that Auro 3D was the first one to come out in the market with it. Biggest thing about Auro 3D is that it uses a large center stage, or stage in general, to take advantage of the full system of what immersive sound can be. And actually a lot of movies in the theater actually show that. You know, from movies that are released today to movies dating back some time, there are a decent amount of movies in cinema that have been shown in Auro 3D. But that doesn't translate into consumer related products, but you might start seeing that more in the future. Now we got a chance to review and give our take on Auro 3D, and we use actually the Denon AVR-X4300H receiver, which has an option to purchase Auro 3D after you purchase the unit itself, which already has Dolby Atmos and DTS-X equipped if you download the right codecs for it. So the differences between Auro 3D and the others is sort of its presentation and what sort of format you want to use it with, but I'll get to more of that in a moment. So the big thing with Auro 3D is that it has different kind of sounds for it. There's obviously live music, there's entertainment, and there's sort of like a 2D setting, which gives you like a slight virtual sound for it. So the big thing that I did was I pretty much compared it with every other codecs and see where it's sort of like stacked up. So a big one is for entertainment. Now if you're watching things like Blu-ray movies, and you have things like Dolby Digital HD Master Audio or DTS HD Master Audio, in their respective codecs, they might work better than Auro 3D does. Now that's not to say that Auro 3D sounds bad, but something that's in Dolby Atmos sounds obviously, you know, better equipped for a Dolby Atmos track versus something that you would switch over to Auro 3D. Now if it's Dolby HD Master Audio, you might get varying effects or whatever, and it might be by preference. DTS really much touted the fact that DTS-X is backwards compatible, so their algorithm for their DTS HD Master Audio tracks sound the best with DTS-X on it, and that worked across the board the same way. Now here are some points where Auro 3D really shined. Live music is pretty much the best it can be with Auro 3D. I don't think anything else can upstage when you're listening to either your music tracks, or I've even had the pleasure of just trying to stream like a concert situation like Justin Timberlake's Unplugged concert, and the actual rooms of sound that you would get from music sounds great on Auro 3D. It tones down the center speaker, you get a fuller bass and a fuller sound in the surrounding area, like everything's around you, you're pretty much in the center of the action. Another place where I really tested and liked Auro 3D more than any other place was streaming entertainment. So streaming services like Netflix, HBO Go, Amazon, even the CW app, all those things sound better with Auro 3D than they would with the algorithms of Dolby Atmos and DTS-X. Again, those don't sound that bad, but Auro 3D seems to just know how to pick a good algorithm going on with the height speakers versus that. Now, a little disclaimer, the way we have our setup is the Denon 4300 is a 9.2 channel, and we currently have a 5.2.4 speaker setup. So that's basically a 5.1 setup, 2 subwoofers actually, and 4 speakers on the top. We have 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So that just gives you sort of like a displacement of where we have things at. And the way it affected things with entertainment in the streaming service is that you really got like a good height range for where things were at versus the other algorithms, which was good to take note of, and we obviously kept it that way. And then another aspect which is good for our readers is the gaming side. Now the gaming side varied, but mostly, to my surprise, the Auro 3D actually came up pretty good. We played a few games, few first-person shooters, Halo 5 being one of them, and then like Gears of War 4, and even Forza Horizon 3. Now, Gears of War 4 and Halo 5 performed really well. Saw missiles like buzzing over me, people jumping over me in Gears of War, and other like helicopter sounds. Those all sound really good, and I would think it's got to be a case-by-case basis, but most things sound better in Auro 3D just because you have limited options depending on what you play, and we were able to play with an Xbox One S and a PlayStation 4 Pro, and they either give you 7.1 surround or like, you know, or the PlayStation 4 actually does a bit stream pretty well, so depending on the content you'll actually get decent sound from either kind of codecs. Then Forza Horizon 3 actually sounded a little bit too muddy for us, and the sound actually just was kind of booming from all over, and I didn't get good a separation from Auro 3D, so that in that sense that wouldn't work for that. Auro 3D, I mean, while it's not widely popular, it's something that they're obviously trying to explore and seeing, you know, where they can expand on it. Your best way to take advantage of it is if you have an 11.1 channel speaker, which basically will give you like a 7.1 with 4 speakers on top, and then a center speaker on the very top, which they call the voice of God, which gives them a whole other set of sound, which gives you the full immersive feeling that you probably wouldn't have before. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try this out, but they did assure us that with any atmospheric sound that we have set up with height speakers, you'll get really good sound with Auro 3D, and we weren't disappointed with that. So the way we would rate Auro 3D is that if you have a receiver that takes advantage of it, you know, it's something that you might want to pick up. It depends on the kind of content that you use. If you use a singular content, it might not be the best approach to use, but if you use a wide range of things, if you do listen to live music, or if you do watch entertainment on streaming versus, you know, on a Blu-ray or a DVD or 4K Blu-ray, or you do gaming, which obviously probably doesn't have like Dolby Atmos on it yet, which those are probably coming in the future, and even Auro 3D games will come out in the future, but things that use a little bit more simple sound, then those will work. The best takeaway I would say is that they do a better job of taking older content and content that's not really supported with a good algorithm that would give you atmospheric sound, and it takes that and it gives you a great way to hear atmospheric sound that you didn't hear before. The separation between the height speakers, depending on where you have them, is very good, better probably than other algorithms. The only difference is that they obviously, the other codecs like Dolby and DTS, work with their respective sounds a little bit better than Auro would, but it's a case-by-case basis, and it might be a preference thing. I've actually found myself using a little bit more than not, so that's obviously a good thing. So if you guys liked our review and take on Auro 3D and like to hear more about it and what we think coming in the future for future products, like the page, subscribe, like the video, comment, and let us know your thoughts on what to do next. This is Remy with LVLONE News, signing out.